Time for sound design. In today's video, I'm going to explore the quirky Roland EF-303 groove effects from 1999. This box is basically a multi-effects unit. You can only run one effect at a time, but it has many different effects that you can choose from. It has even a built-in synth and a very primitive drum machine. But the real interesting part for this machine is the modulation sequencer. So you have 16 sliders that can affect one parameter of the effects. So you can, for instance, modulate the filter cutoff or the resonance by adjusting the sliders. It has many different effects, but in this video I will focus on two specific ones, and that is the Lo-fi effect and the Delay+Pan effect. And I'm going to use these effects to mess up my drum machine. So I have the Arturia Drumbrute Impact plugged into the EF-303, and I'm going to experiment and create different kinds of lo-fi and robotic drum loops. So this EF-303 is a bit of an odd box, even for Roland Boss standards. It is kind of targeted at the DJ market. It comes with RCA connectors, and it has this grab toggle, so you can toggle on the effects momentarily. Let me show you that. I selected the isolator effect, which is basically kind of DJ style EQ, where you can completely cut out certain frequencies. So when you cut out the low and a bit of the high and boost the mid, it sounds like this. So the first effect that I will demonstrate is the lo-fi, and this is an effect that is quickly overblown, so you quickly do too much of it. You have three controls, the first one being the drive, and you only have to add a little bit to get really hear the effect already. The second one is the sample rate, which is the same as well. You only have to add a little bit of this, otherwise you completely destroy the sound. And then the third knob is for the bit resolution, and this one you can push a bit further. So this is the drive, the second one is the sample rate, the third one is the bit resolution, and then you have the dry wet. So I'm gonna run some drums from the Arturia through this and create a bunch of different, and explore with a bunch of different settings to find the sweet spot. So that is with a lower bit resolution. It starts at 16 and goes back to 1. So that sounds pretty okay. And then now with the sample rate, if I crank that up, you will really destroy the sound. It just basically filters it down and there's nothing left of the sound. And as you can hear with the drive, if you turn that up only a little bit, then you already feel it. But if you turn it up even more, then it just completely gets out of control. So I think a good sweet spot are the following settings. So this is a very usable effect if you want to mess up your clean drums, either from a drum machine like I just showed you, or if you just get it straight from your DAW into this machine to really kind of get that lo-fi digital crunch. But this is not a good effect to use the modulation sequencer to adjust the settings, because you just want to find that sweet spot and leave it at that. So let's go to the second effect that I want to demonstrate in this video, and that's the delay pan. And for this effect, you can really use the modulation sequencer to create interesting moving patterns. First, I want to sync it to the tempo of the track. So I'll have the drums running at 110 BPM, and I will run the EF-303 at half tempo, so at 55 BPM. So I'm going to first explore the synced mode. And if you get it just right, you can find these nice interlocking patterns. So let's go. Let's now use the modulation sequencer to modulate one of the parameters. And first I'm starting with the pen control. So that's the second button. And I'm going to use it just to pan the wet sound a bit left and right. So this was the EF-303 in the sync mode, but you can also take it out of the sync mode. And then the rate knob is just for manual adjustment of the delay time. When you actually turn it, it does give you some kind of glitchiness, which is not nice. So you have to turn it and then play it at a specific point. But the nice thing is, if you have a very short delay time and a very long feedback, you can create these kind of robotic sounding carpless strong type of sounds. And if you mix that with the dry signal of your drum machine or your drums, then you can get a really nice blend of the original drums with a bit of robotic flavor on top of it. So let's explore that. And now using the modulation sequencer to modulate the panning again of the wet signal. And now let's try to modulate the delay feedback with the modulation sequencer. So as you can hear, you can completely mess up your drums and go from clean to sort of a hint of robotic to completely bleeps and blobs that sounds more like a modular synthesizer going wild than a drum machine. And even though the EF-303 is a quirky and in some respects outdated machine, it is also still capable of creating textures, or you can easily texturize whatever you put into it, whether it's a drum machine or a synthesizer, or you can even plug in a mic and just talk to it. A lot of the effects are kind of overblown. So what I mean with that is that you only need a little bit of it and then it already gets crazy. But at the same time, the delay, for instance, has a very good short time with a lot of feedback. You can really go wild. So how I would use this machine is record different loops into Ableton and then cut out loops that I can use and either add it to my library of sounds or just start creating right from the loops that I recorded into Ableton. Let me know what kind of 90s effects or vintage effects you use to texturize your music or to texturize your drums. If you have any questions about this device, leave them in the comments. Keep making music. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.